Okay, so the fly I have here in the vise, this is a size 14 popper for bluegill. This is a bright green chartreuse. The hook I'm using is a Umpqua. It's TMC 200R. It's a 3L. It's a it's a yeah 3L shank. Yeah, 3X long shank. I like the size 14. It's plenty small enough that they can get their mouse around it. If you ever fish with a triangle bug, this popper works very similar to that. Get a couple things put up here. I'm going to start. Put down a really good thread base here. This is my go-to fly for bluegill. This is the go-to color. Um, I do tie in different colors. Pink is another good color. Purple is a good color. Yellow works. White works real good. Sometimes red will work real good. Red's kind of hit or miss for me. So next thing we're gonna do is tie in the tail. For the tail, I got strong hackle. I'm using the fluffy stuff down here on the bottom of the feather. We're gonna just cut some of that off and put it on for the tail. I'm gonna kind of bulk up the thread a little bit here. And I'm going to stop that right there. So, got a piece of craft foam, 2mm craft foam, 1/4 inch wide. We're going to put some super glue on that thread base. I'm using the Gorilla Glue with the yellow cap. That on there and kind of just wrap it around the hook. I'm going to keep it somewhat centered. There we go. And we're going to completely cover that foam. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap behind the eye of the hook when you tie the foam down. Make sure you get all the way back to the bend of the hook. Okay, that should do it. We're going to stop just a little bit in front of the point, about halfway. And we're going to move it up a little bit. We want to be about halfway down the shank. I'm going to put a segment in here. Then we're going to move our thread back up to the front of the foam behind the eye, leaving that gap behind the eye of the hook. We're going to tie that off right there. Then we're going to lift up the foam And then we're going to build a thread dam right behind the eye of the hook. Gonna cut that off. When I cut that off, I'm going straight across. Not quite straight, but close. Okay, that'll work. That's going to be the head of your popper. That's what's going to move the water. So I don't round off the corners or anything like that. I want it to move plenty of water. Next thing I'm going to do is I can put on legs. I made these legs out of craft foam. Cut a strip about a 1/16 of an inch or smaller. Take it and you just pinch and roll it in your fingers until you get it down to what you want. Gonna fold this piece in half, get basically two sets of legs out of it. I like the foam legs, the color matches. I like how rigid they are too. They'll move in the water, but they bounce back real good. Let me put it that way. Sometimes rubber legs will just lay limp along the side of the fly. These bounce back pretty good. That's one of the reasons I like them. So I'm going to tie it down in the middle, and I'm going to put a wrap in front and a wrap behind. Kind of hold it in place. I'm going to put another one in front of this one. There we go. And then I'm just going to go right back to the middle. Let me go back behind this one again. It's not exactly sitting where I want it to. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, that's better. Then I'm going to cut these down to the length I want. I always cut my legs before I whip finish. That way, if I cut them too short, I can just unwrap them and put new legs in. I'm happy with that. It's not perfect, but it'll work. Then I'm going to do my whip finish right there in the middle of the legs. And that's our fly right there. Like I said, this is my go-to pattern for bluegill. This is the go-to color. Put some Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails on the thread here at the whip finish. And then I'm going to cover the thread underneath with Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails, just help it last longer. One thing here is when you build that thread dam, you want to watch that you don't crowd the eye of the hook. That is it. That's our size 14 bluegill popper. This is a great fly. If you've ever fished with a triangle bug, same concept. It doesn't get sucked in all the way. It's wide enough, long enough, they don't swallow the whole fly.